pounds, fighting out of Houston, Texas. He brings a professional record of 69 victories, only 3 defeats, and his knockout total of 65 is more than any other contender in the world today. In the first part of his career, after winning the 1968 Olympic gold medal, he became the undisputed heavyweight world champion. A few years later, he walked away from the ring. Then, after a decade, he returned to begin part 2 of his career. For 3 years, he went undefeated, going through 24 opponents on his way to a heavyweight championship bout this past April. He didn't come away with a title, but he did win a huge victory in capturing the hearts of boxing fans around the world. Tonight, we turn the page to part 3, chapter 1 in the ongoing career of this boxing legend. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the former heavyweight champion of the world,
again, obey my commands at all times. Shake hands and good luck.
All right, we're set to start at round number 1 of a scheduled 10-rounder between George Foreman and Jimmy Ellis. This is coming to you from the Reno-Sparks Convention Center in Reno, Nevada. And here we go. George Foreman heavily favored in this bout. Some of the sports books not even taking odds. One other, 20-1 in favor of George Foreman. Jimmy Ellis coming out of George, throwing straight rights and left jabs to the body. If anyone had any questions whether Jimmy Ellis would be game or not, he's coming out game. George throws a big left, a hard left to the body of Jimmy Ellis. You know that all of that 257 pounds is behind each punch. George Foreman's in the red corner, Jimmy Ellis in the blue corner. George is in the orange and purple, Jimmy Ellis in the black and the blue. Jimmy throws a wild left. Most of it is arm. There's a left to the head of George Foreman as he covers. Throwing left jabs, one glancing off the nose of Jimmy Ellis. There's a wild left by George Foreman that misses entirely. There's a left jab to the face of Jimmy Ellis by George Foreman. George throws another left and another left. 2 out of 3 connecting. There's a left by Jimmy Ellis. He tries to get through the body of George Foreman. Connects with a right to the head. There's a left to the head of George Foreman. Another right to the body. George Foreman said just yesterday that these are dangerous fighters because they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. They're young, they're wild, and they're strong. He has every bit respect for his opponent, Jimmy Ellis. Blood beginning to show on the nose of Jimmy Ellis as George connects with a lumbering left.
Hands up, George!
There's a left by Jimmy Ellis that glances to the head of George Foreman. George counters with a left. There's another left. Another left to the face. He tries for that right. George Foreman is known for an overhand right. His arms are massive. The power behind those punches, incredible. Jimmy Ellis beginning to show red in the face and blood on the bridge of his nose. Ellis comes out of the camp of 10 Goose Boxing as George Foreman weighs in with left-right combinations to the face of Jimmy Ellis. There's a left and another left and a right that connects to Jimmy Ellis. Foreman seemingly connecting at will to the face of Jimmy Ellis as we come to the end of round number 1 at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center in Reno, Nevada. We're set for round number 2. A scheduled 10-round bout between George Foreman and Jimmy Ellis. Foreman in the orange and purple trunks, Ellis in a black and blue, and that might be a portent of things to come for Jimmy Ellis, as he has been unable to score against the big guy. Yes, George Foreman is a massive target, but he does not give it up easy as he connects with the left jab to the face of Jimmy Ellis. There's another left that's partially covered.
Come on back, Will. Come on back. Get close. Come on.
Like most right-handers, George Foreman will set with the left jab for the big right hand as he goes to the body with the right. Jimmy Ellis counters with a left shot to the head of Foreman and does very little as he covers. Left to the body of Ellis. You know that's got to hurt. George Foreman weighing in at 257 pounds. There's a left that glances off the right glove of George Foreman.
There you go. There you go. Lean back with you.
Both men exchanging, and that looks like it sent Jimmy Ellis into a land that he didn't want to go so early. Sensing the kill, George Foreman moves in. Jimmy Ellis tries to cover. He is a gamer. There's a left off the head of Jimmy Ellis, whose legs begin to buckle. Foreman knows he has Jimmy Ellis where he wants him. It's now a matter of time. As Foreman sets his man, Jimmy Ellis barely holding on. Richard Steele looking into his eyes. There's a left uppercut as Foreman moves away. There's another left that staggers Ellis. Ellis is out on his feet as he holds on to George Foreman. They're above us right now. Ellis is holding on to George Foreman.
Jimmy, let go.
There is a right to the chin of Jimmy Ellis, yet he is game. He still stands on. There's another combination that sends him reeling against the ropes. There's a left to the head, a right to the head, and Richard Steele comes between them, but only briefly. If you were looking at that clock, it said 15 seconds to go. However, the clock itself was fast as we come to the end of the second round. Jimmy Ellis wandering around the ring, wondering where he is. Over in the George Foreman's corner, when Foreman had Ellis against the ropes, you could see referee Richard Steele looking into his eyes, very hesitant to stop the bout. He doesn't want to be even remotely accused of stopping it prematurely once again. But you have to wonder how much longer this can go on. Ellis comes out of his corner wobbly at the get-go. George Foreman looking very fresh. Measuring his man. Foreman throws a left-right combination again. I do not think that this is going to go much longer into this round. Ellis is game. He throws a right to the chin of George Foreman. He's coming after George. His left hand gets stuck in the ring. George hits him with a left jab to the chin. There's a left that misses, a left that hits him in the face. Ellis counters, but those left rights of George Foreman get through, and there's a lot to get through. There's a left flush on the face of Jimmy Ellis. Foreman throws a left right again. Ellis counters, but he is staggered. A right uppercut by George that misses. There's a left uppercut. There's a left to the head of Ellis. Another left. Left and right combination. That overhand right going to the head of Jimmy Ellis. Ellis trying to hold on. There's now a cut under the left eye of Jimmy Ellis as he staggers backwards. George Foreman plods toward him. Jimmy Ellis' face is beet red as Foreman continues his left jab, right cross onslaught. Foreman looking to measure his man. There's a left to the face of Jimmy Ellis. And Richard Steele stops the bout. Richard Steele's stoppage of the fight. He's hearing it from his corner, from Ellis's corner right now, but it's hard to question that stoppage by Richard Steele. Ellis was virtually out on his feet. It was a matter